For thousands of years, ancient cultures used honey for many different purposes. Honey was commonly used for healing, for beauty routines, for ritual celebrations, funerals, births, and marriages. In ancient Egypt, sacramental animals were fed honey. Honey was the mostly used medicine in Egypt. It was used in the embalming process to prevent decay. Also, the bees became a representation of the pharaohs, and taxes were also paid with honey. In ancient Greece, honey represented love, beauty, and fertility. The gods in Greek used to favor a drink called the nectar of the gods, which was made of honey and spices. This drink held so many life-giving properties for health, strength, power, and eternity. It was known that Cupid dipped his arrow in honey to fill the lover's heart with sweetness. Also, Greek coins were coined with bees on them. In ancient Rome, when Alexander the Great died, he was preserved in a clay vessel full of honey that acted as a preservative. In ancient France, bees were used as a representation of industry, efficiency, and productivity. Napoleon, for example, used bees to represent his empire after his crowning in 1804. Did you know? The only food that we eat that is created by insects is honey. An average colony contains only one queen, and she could lay up to 2,000 eggs a day during the busy season. The drone's one and only purpose is to mate with the queen. Worker bees are undeveloped female bees that work inside the hive, such as cooling the hive by fanning their wings, cleaning the hive, and feeding the larvae. A worker bee gathers around 0.28 of an ounce of honey in its entire life. It requires about 556 worker bees to gather a pound of honey. Honeybees beat their wings 11,400 times a minute, making their buzz.
Bees as suppliers of a religiously recommended product. It's not surprising that the Holy Quran has dedicated a whole surah on bees. This means that Allah Almighty has conferred paramount importance on bees and their production, an importance compared to none. Their issue, from their belief, is a nutritious juicy drink of varying colors, offering mankind a cure. In contemporary medicine, honey has been discovered to be an excellent treatment for some ophthalmological diseases and certain kinds of cold and cough. Also, in the Bible, it's said that honey is dubbed the heavenly food.
Honey is used for its bactericide properties that work on improving the levels of antioxidants in our systems. Honey is used to treat wounds, internal and external diseases. Honey is used for its antimicrobial properties, which is used in skin treatment where the skin is kept moist, soft, and elastic. The bee sting therapy has been proven to be healing patients suffering from inflammation of joints. Honey can also heal sore throats. It's much more healthier than sugar since it contains amounts of minerals and vitamin nutrients. The beeswax is very useful in beauty products, candles, furniture polish, and sealing wax.
I used to act upon my mother's advice for taking a spoon of honey every morning. At that time, I thought that this was a normal activity, but I never thought of seeing the producers of this honey. This week, I have been lucky enough to see not only the producers, but also a real production place. On this occasion, I would like to extend my deep gratitude to Professor Doris Jones for giving me and my colleagues the chance to visit a bee colony on Mr. Omar's farm. We are all in debt to her for making us experience such a wonderful day. Early in the morning, we have set on the journey to the farm, where we have received a warm welcome by Mr. Omar and his family. We've been given special protective suits and we started to go in force into the colony. When Ibrahim, as he is called, introduced us to the colony by showing us the beehive, we were surprised as he opened the hive. By the way, it's classified according to age and class. My group was lucky enough to see all members of the colony, especially the queen. It was such an amazing visual experience.
The health and life of bees are at stake due to the diseases affecting them. One of the many diseases affecting bees is the full brood disease, which is a contagious bacterial disease that spreads like a mold within brood cells, and it gives the normal white bee larvae, which is a yellowish hue. The larvae then turns to a brownish black color as they die, while a bad stench is emitted from them. This disease is regarded as one of the worst diseases to affect bees by beekeepers.
Wax moth. A moth is identified as a dreary-looking creature about the size of a nickel and considered as a plague by keepers. The moth has the ability to reduce a colony by half its number.
Moreover, red fire ants are ants that overrun colonies. They eat everything in the hive and they drive the bees away. Then they move on to destroy nearby crops. Moving on to other diseases, there's a disease called the chalk brood, which is a fungal disease that leapt from Europe to the States. This disease preys on the brood in weakened hives. Other things that affect bees are the tracheal mites and varroa mites. These twin parasitic curses invade the hives, interbreeding with European bees, then creating more aggressive offsprings. Something every beekeeper should be aware of are the small hive beetles, which aren't really that small, as they eat their way through a colony's larvae, pollen, and honey, defecting every inch of the way. This is very dangerous and affects the production of honey. All of these diseases mentioned will cause the bees to disappear, which will have a noticeable effect on our lives that we will discuss later on. Stay tuned.